A very good morning to one and all. Today I am going to tell about bacteria. This is the next session of your microbiology. So in the previous class already I have explained you about the I have gave a brief introduction for microbiology, and now we are going to discuss about bacteria. The study of bacteria is known as bacteriology, and it was first introduced by Ehrenberg. So bacteria are small microscopic unicellular organisms, prokaryotic organisms, which we can see only under microscope. So by magnifying their image we can observe only under microscope. So those are bacteria. So coming to the structures of bacteria, bacteria are present everywhere. They are present in our body, on this chalk, in this room, in the soil, in the water, everywhere bacteria are present. So this bacteria we cannot see with our naked eye, as I said earlier. Why we cannot see with our naked eye? Because of its low density by volume ratio. Because of low density by volume ratio. So this is the reason why microorganisms are not observed with our naked eye. So under microorganisms bacteria also come. So why we cannot see bacteria with our naked eye? Because of its low density by volume ratio. So this is the most important factor that everybody should remember, that because of its low density by volume ratio, bacteria or any microorganism we cannot see with our naked eye. So these bacteria are arranged in different structures. They may be spherical in shape, they may be rod shape, they may be spiral shape, or they may be comma shape. If bacteria is present in spherical shape, so then that is known as coccus. Okay, so if bacteria is present in rod shape, then that is known as bacillus. Spiral shape, spirates. Comma shape, vibrio. Okay, so these are the different structures how bacteria are arranged in our environment. So if bacteria is present in spherical shape, then that is known as coccus. If it is rod shape, then that is known as bacillus. Spiral shape, spirochetes. Comma shape, vibrio. If bacteria, spherical shaped bacteria, if they are present in pairs, then that is, if it is present single spherical shaped bacteria is present, then that is known as monocoque. Monocoque. If spherical shaped bacteria are present in pairs, then that is known as diplocoque. If spherical shaped bacteria are present in two pairs, then that is known as tetracoque. If spherical shaped bacteria is present in form of bunch, like your grapes, then that is known as staphylococcus. If spherical shaped bacteria is present in a chain form, then that is known as streptococcus. Okay, so these are the different forms of bacteria: monococcus, diplococcus, tetracoccus, staphylococcus, streptococcus. So the same thing is followed with the rod shaped bacteria also. If bacteria is present in single bacteria is present in rod shaped bacteria is present in a single form, then that is known as monobacilli. If it is present in pairs, then it is known as diplobacilli. If it is present in bunch form, then that is known as streptobacilli. Staphylobacilli. If it is present in chain form, then that is known as streptobacilli. So these are the different forms of bacteria that are present in our environment. Monobacilli, diplobacilli, staphyloBacilli and streptobacilli. And spiral shaped, it is called as parotids. If it is in curve shape, then that is known as vibrio. Now coming to the ultrastructure of bacteria. So this is the ultrastructure of bacteria. So the ultrastructure of bacteria can be easily learned in a three-step process. The outer membrane, the cytoplasmic incursions and the locomotion adherence. So in three sections, the ultrastructure of bacteria can easily be getting. Okay, can easily be learned. So this is the ultrastructure of bacteria. So in this ultrastructure of bacteria, first we will be discussing about the outer membrane, outer surface. So in the outer surface, first initially this is called capsule. See, this is capsule. The outer covering of the bacteria is called capsule, and this is easily recognized if a capsule is present outside the bacteria, then that bacteria is known as capsulated bacteria. If capsule is not present in the bacteria, then that is known as non-capsulated bacteria. So capsule actually helps the bacteria during antigen recognition. Whenever if a bacteria is present with a capsule, it cannot be easily adhered to antigenic properties. Means it is having something like protection against the antigens. So capsule helps the bacteria against other bacteria, other antigens. Whenever the other microorganisms or any antigens need to enter into the bacterial cell wall, then they are protected by the outer cover that is known as capsule. So that is nothing but the outer membrane. Under outer covering of the cell, capsule is present. So in the first three sections, outer covering. So under outer covering, you will be learning about capsule. Next, so this is next to the capsule. So this is your cell wall. So in your cell wall, see, this is your cell wall. In your cell wall, actually all your protein synthesis, all your cell adherence and movement of water molecules, its diffusion or osmosis, all the properties are being observed with your cell wall. Cell wall is very important to the bacteria. Cell wall is composed of phospholipid bilayer, and inside the phospholipid bilayer. So this is a phospholipid bilayer next to the cell wall. So cell wall is made up of, so this is your phospholipids, and in between your phospholipids, protein molecules are present. So this is your phospholipid bilayer. So cell wall is made up of phospholipid bilayer. Next, so basing on this cell wall, two types of bacteria are differentiated. So this cell wall is made, actually it is made with peptidoglycan layer. So this is the general composition of a cell wall. So in bacteria, this cell wall is made up of peptidoglycan layer or murin layer. This is also known as murin layer. So this is very important for the bacterial recognition. It is differentiated according to the Gram staining. It is differentiated according to the cell wall. Gram positive cell wall, gram positive bacteria and gram negative bacteria. Gram positive bacteria will be having more amount of peptidoglycan layer, means thick amount of peptidoglycan layer and less amount of phospholipid bilayer. So protein layer. So that is in case of gram positive bacteria. Coming to the case of gram negative bacteria, very thin layer of peptidoglycan layer is present and very thick amount of protein layer. So that is the difference between, according to the staining technique, that is the difference between gram positive bacteria and gram negative bacteria based on their cell wall. So this is peptidoglycan layer or murin layer. And in pencil, and if you go depth into the your peptidoglycan layer is made up of two units, mucopolysaccharide. Those are NAD and NAD. So N-acetyluronic acid, and so peptidoglycan layer is composed of units of mucopolysaccharides. Those are N-acetyluronic acid and N-acetylglutamic acid. So N-acetyluronic acid and glutamic acid, they both are these both mucopolysaccharides are attached with beta 1,4 linkage, and in between these two molecules are linked by beta 1,4 linkage, and present with your NAD and NAD, they both ultimately they both are linked with beta 1,4 linkage, and also it is having a protein layer, protein chain. It is attached with the tetrapeptide. So this NAD and NAD actually make up your cell wall of the bacteria. So next is your, so after your capsule, next to your cell wall, next this layer is known as inner cell wall or plasma membrane. Here actually in the plasma membrane, all your respiratory respiratory reactions are taking place in bacteria. As of on your eukaryotes, mitochondria is known as a powerhouse of the cell, where your electron transport chain will take place, and from there all your ATP is synthesized and your energy is synthesized, isn't it? So simply in this case also in bacteria, the respiratory system is present in plasma membrane. So that is the importance of plasma membrane. So plasma membrane is made up of phospholipid, bilayer and protein. So as I said, so casually in all cell walls are made up of phospholipid bilayer, and simply in bacteria this cell wall is made up of peptidoglycan layer, that is your murin layer, and this peptidoglycan layer is made up of NAM and NAG. So NAM means N-acetyl muramic acid and NAG is N-acetyl glutamic acid. These both are linked with beta 1,4 linkage, and these both are also attached with a tetrapeptide molecule. So that is about your peptidoglycan layer. And one more thing, depending upon the cell wall, based on the staining technique, bacteria are of two types, gram-positive bacteria and gram-negative bacteria. So gram-positive bacteria are having more amount of peptidoglycan layer and less amount of phospholipid, protein layer. So coming to your gram-negative bacteria, it is having less amount of peptidoglycan layer and more amount of protein layer. So that is about your outer covering of the cell bacteria. Next section is cytoplasmic organelles. So first one is outer covering, next is cytoplasmic organelles. So in bacteria, the khali space, the open space, the space present inside your plasma membrane, so that is your cytoplasma. See, this is your cytoplasma. Attached to your plasma membrane, facing towards the cytoplasma. So this is your plasma membrane facing towards cytoplasma. So this is the another end that is facing towards the cell wall. So this thick wall is your cell wall. This is your capsule. See, isn't it? So these three layers are nothing but your outer covering of your bacteria. Next is cytoplasmic organelles. Coming to the cytoplasmic organelles, their open space that is present inside the bacteria is cytoplasmic. So in this cytoplasma, different organelles, suborganelles are present. So these suborganelles, all these suborganelles now we will discuss. So coming to the suborganelles, under this first one is mesosomes. So these mesosomes are nothing but these are the inner protruding conversions attached with your plasma membrane. So that is mesosomes. In mesosomes, actually all your respiratory reactions are taking place. All your electron transport chain, all your electron synthesis is observed in your mesosomes. Next, under cytoplasmic organelles, mesosomes. Next is ribosomes. So in bacteria, ribosomes are 70S type. So according to the segmentation quotient in bacteria, in prokaryotes, it is 70S type, and it is having two subunits, one larger subunit, another one is smaller subunit. Coming to the larger subunit, it is having 50S segmentation quotient, and the lower subunit, smaller subunit is having 30S. So ribosomes are mainly used for the synthesis of protein molecules in bacteria. Next is nuclear or plasmid. Plasmid is extrachromosomal DNA. So this is present in the cytoplasm. This contains all your extrachromosomal DNA, and plasmid is having three subunits, that is F plasmid, cold plasmid, and F plasmid, cold plasmid, and R plasmid. So F plasmid is where your genetic material is being transferred. Now coming to the cold plasmid, where it is having the resistance for its collagen antibody. Next, R is resistance for your antibiotics. So those are the three different forms of your plasmid, that is extrachromosomal DNA. Next, nucleoid. Coming to the nucleoid, here all your genetic material, your genomic information is present in your bacteria. Next, coming to your mRNA. So in your bacteria, for the synthesis of proteins, you need mRNA molecule, and this mRNA is synthesized from your DNA that is present in your plasmids, isn't it? Next, enzymes. Enzymes are also present in your cytoplasm, which are required during your glycolysis, during all your metabolic reactions that is taking place in your bacteria. So that is the use of enzymes. Next is polysome. Polyribosome is also used for the synthesis of protein molecules. So that is polyribosome. And these are all your cytoplasmic suborganisms that are present in your cytoplasm. So the next section is locomotion. So as I said earlier, the outer structure of bacteria can be studied under three sections. So that is your outer covering, cytoplasmic organisms, and the third one is locomotion. Now coming to the locomotion, from the name itself it indicates that the movement of the bacteria is helped with the flagella and pili. So pili is generally of two types. It is having pili, isn't it? It is having pili bacteria protein. So this pili is of two types: common pili, normal pili, and sex pili. So normal pili is generally used for the locomotion of the bacteria from one place to another place. That is nothing but your movement. And the sex pili is having generally, if sex pili is present on the bacteria, then that is known as Fim plus. If sex pili is absent in the bacteria, then that is known as Fim minus. So this sex pili easily transfers genetic material from one bacterial cell to another bacterial cell. If it is transferring genetic material from one bacteria to another bacteria, then that bacteria is known as Fim plus, and the next another bacteria is known as Fim minus. Okay, so those are Fim cells, pili cells, and during this genetic transformation, that pili is known as sex pili, utilized for your genetic transformation. Next is flagella. So this is the structure of flagella. It is having a shaft. So this is your shaft linked with your this is your shaft, and this is your hook, and this is your layers that is linked with your bacterial cell. So the reverse of this particular structure. So this is M ring, membrane ring, S ring, supermembrane ring, P ring, protein ring, and L ring, lipoprotein ring. So this section is here. This is your section, isn't it? So inside your flagella, which is present inside the cell wall of the bacteria, which is attached with your capsule. So this section is nothing but this section. So the reverse of this structure. So this is hook, and this is shaft. So that is the structure of flagella. It is generally used for locomotion and for adherence. Mainly it is used for adherence. So if flagella is not present all over the bacteria, then that is known as atritus. If flagella is present all over the body, then that is known as amphitritus. If flagella is present only one side, then that is known as Lophotrochus. If flagella is present only one side, only one flagella is present, then that is known as Monotypus. Okay, so these are the subcellular organisms present in the bacteria. So once again I am repeating, the bacteria, the ultrastructure of the bacteria can easily be learned by a three-step process, by three phases. So that is outer covering, cytoplasmic organisms, and your locomotion. So in your outer covering, you will be learning about capsule and cell wall and plasma membrane. Okay. Next, in your cytoplasmic suborganelles, you will be learning about cytoplasma, plasmids, lysosomes, mRNA, ribosome, respiratory chain, and enzymes, and nucleoid, cell wall, and polyribosomes. And coming to your locomotion, you will be learning about villi and flagella. So these are the suborganelles of bacteria. Thank you.